Confluence University of Science and Technology, Osara, is spiraling to be one of the fittest legacy projects of Governor Yahaya Bello that will outlast not just his administration, but also his generation, as this wonderful project is shooting to be the most significant educational edifice in the entire north-central Nigeria and in the nation at large. Speaking with the erudite and well-versed Vice-Chancellor, Engineer Professor Salau Sadiku, he had this to add.
Thank you very much for that question. First of all, let us look at the background of Custech, because the magic starts from there. It is common knowledge that most of our secondary school graduates over the years have found it difficult to gain admissions into universities, especially for programs that are science-related or professions that are based on science. We now found ourselves in a difficult position where our students, our secondary school graduates, cannot achieve their lifelong ambition of becoming medical doctors, of becoming engineers, pharmacists, and so on. Because if you look at federal universities, there are three categories of admission they normally do. Merit, followed by catchment area, and then of course educationally disadvantaged areas. So once a student misses the merit, most of the federal institutions are out for our secondary school leavers. The state government, the present administration, is so sensitive that they quickly realized that except something drastic is done, our youths will be heading for very serious disappointment in life. Recall that we already have a state university, Prince Abubakar Audu University in Nanyuba, which is purely conventional. Conventional means a very wide spectrum of programs. But the university is yet to be very well established when it comes to professional programs in sciences. So the state government thought it wise that some succor should be brought into the scene to allow our youths develop their potentials to the maximum. That was why the state government decided to establish a University of Science and Technology to address this very important challenge and to fill the gap. The state government was very passionate about this when it went into the establishment. As at 19th August 2020, the Kogi State House of Assembly passed a bill establishing this university. In order to demonstrate the passion of the state government, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of the state, Alhaji Dr. Yahaya Bello, signed the bill into law in less than 24 hours. So this university was brought into existence by that bill being signed into law on 20th August 2020. As if to make up for the lost ground, the state government followed this up with getting the necessary recognition from National Universities Commission, that is NUC, in November 2020. Upon achieving that, the state government didn't waste any time, and from our interaction with Mr. Governor, he told us that, look, he wanted the university to be developed with the speed higher than that of light. And truly, government has demonstrated in so many ways their readiness to support us, so long as we can come up with ideas of how to speedily come to the aid of these our students. In this case, the state government decided that, look, we are going to start the university where the university is going to be permanently resident. So we took over the site of a school known as School of Preliminary Studies, Kogi State Polytechnic. Of course, the facilities here that we took over were far from adequate in terms of supporting our needs. So the state government committed quite a bit of resources in renovating, in adding new structures, in modifying old structures to make sure that we could start on time. In fact, in just about 3 months after the appointment of management, we went into discussions with NUC with a view to allowing us to benefit from the 2020-2021 admission exercise. Ordinarily, it would have been late, but we were lucky that the good side of a bad event was beckoning on us, and we didn't waste time to take advantage of that. You remember that at that time there was this COVID which was ravaging the entire world, and that really created delays in concluding the admission of 2020-2021. That was why we quickly cashed in on that. We invited NUC to come and do resource verification, which they graciously did in the shortest possible time. We got approval to start our basic sciences. You know, whatever profession you are going to study in sciences, whether it's medicine, engineering, pharmacy, your students must have a basic background of sciences: physics, chemistry, biology, microbiology, biochemistry, statistics, information technology, computer science, cybersecurity. Those were the ones that 11 of them, that we got approval to start immediately. Of course, immediately after the approval from NUC, we linked up with JAMB. And JAMB also assisted us very readily to get some students into the university. In fact, as at May, we had concluded our admission. And first week of June, our first class actually began. Yes, there is no doubt that this university, if there is any at all, anywhere else in this country, like this university, in terms of the shortness of the gestation period, because in less than a year, all these things were achieved. But we couldn't have achieved all these without the active support of the state government, because the state government told us, and they really worked it out, by always being there for us, even cutting down on bureaucracy sometimes to make sure that our needs were attended to. Then again, I want to put it on record that as a Vice Chancellor, I couldn't have done all this without the active support of my management team. I'm a bit luckier than most Vice Chancellors because I'm surrounded with very active, erudite, committed, passionate management staff.
The projects, which consist of but are not limited to the Senate building, the University Library, the Faculty of Engineering, the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, the Faculty of Basic Medical and Health Sciences, are funded primarily by the Kogi State Taxpayers' money, which is being judiciously utilized by the visionary leadership of Governor Yahaya Bello.
While we were approaching the end of the first session, we invited NUC, after satisfying ourselves internally that we were prepared to now admit into a set of professional programs, particularly in engineering. We now approached NUC again for approval to introduce engineering. That approval was given to us upon examining our resources. And Now, we have 6 engineering programs that have taken off, consisting of chemical, civil, computer, electrical and electronics, mechanical, and mining engineering. Then, of course, management also decided, of course, and Senate, decided that, look, you can't be talking of mining engineering without having geology. Originally, we didn't have geology. So we included geology in our request. And then, of course, geophysics. 8 of them were approved for us by NUC. Now, we told our government that, look, we want to go to the next stage, the stage of admitting students into professional programs, and that the first phase of the campus development must be seen to commence in earnest. Because of that, the state government awarded the contracts for 5 projects. 5 projects. The Senate building, the library, University Library, Faculty of Engineering, Faculty of Computing and Informatics, and Faculty of Basic Medical and Health Sciences. And of course, each of these projects has 52 weeks duration for handing over. To demonstrate their commitment again, the state government did not waste any time in making necessary payments to the contractors to enable them mobilize as quickly as possible. And once any of them reaches the next stage, payment is never delayed. We were lucky that along the line, we didn't waste any time in applying to TED Fund for us to be considered as one of the beneficiary institutions to be enlisted. Again, they also came because TED Fund always makes sure that you do not come and collect their money to start a university. They only support universities that are in existence. So when they came, they were satisfied that existence of university means what? Means there are physical infrastructure on ground, you have students, you have teachers. All these were met on ground. And we're lucky to have 2, well, you can say 3 kinds of intervention from them. One is known as the normal intervention, from which we are building our lecture theatre, 500-seater capacity lecture theatre. Then, of course, we have another one called zonal intervention. The zonal intervention has been utilized in stocking our workshop ready for engineering to start. What I mean by engineering to start, you know, first year they are doing basic sciences. It is when they now get to the second year that they start the professional program. So we are ready in terms of equipment for the engineering programs in their second year. Then we were also lucky to have the so-called special high impact project intervention. And the special high impact project intervention enables us to start the Faculty of Science, Faculty of Environmental Sciences, and Faculty of Management and Social Sciences. The 3 of them are simultaneously going on at the site, which I'm sure you have seen. Again, you know the issue of TED Fund. Once all the documentations are completed and work progresses as per work schedule, payment is not usually a problem. That's where we are now. The funding of the university relies on 2-3 sources. One, we have the usual statutory budget provisions. And then, of course, we also have allocation from KGIRS, that is from internally generated revenue. So these monies coming from these sources which of course have something to do with tax anyway, are being used in developing these infrastructural facilities as well as the day-to-day running of the university.
The Director of Works, Architect Usman Mohammed Ahmed, also expressed high spirits in appreciating the government of the day for the ongoing projects in the school, and also acknowledged the verifiable evidence of taxpayers' money being at work in Kogi State.
Thank you very much. My name is Architect Usman Mohammed Ahmed, the Director of Works of Custech, Osara.
The Director, sir, you have conducted your visit around the site. We have seen things. We are overwhelmed. Can you just give us a brief remark on our work?
Well, as it is, like we went around the site, we have 9 projects that are currently ongoing in the school. 5 of such projects are state-owned, state government-owned project-funded projects, while 4 are TED-fund projects. We have the Faculty of Engineering, Faculty of Computing and Informatics. We have the Faculty of Basic Medical and Health Sciences. We have the University Senate, and we have the University Library, which are state government funded projects. Then we have the TED Fund projects. We have the Faculty of Science. We have Faculty of Management and Social Sciences and Faculty of Environmental Design. Then we have the 500 capacity lecture theater, which we can see behind us here. As it is, we are really grateful to the Executive Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Adoza Bello, for giving us this wonderful university and making sure that the university takes off and kicks off, hit the ground running. We didn't wait. In just about 2 years of our existence, we can see the enormous projects that he has approved for the state, and the courses and the students and whatever he has approved that is going on currently at the school. But as it is again, we are envisaging more students, because for now we have 2 levels of students now, the 100 level and the 200 level students, and hopefully by next session the 300 level students will be there and the new 100 level intake are going to be there. So finally, I just wish to appeal to well-meaning Kogi State indigenes and Nigerians alike to come to our aid to see, because we are currently short of hostel accommodation. That is our bane now, but hopefully we believe that with the help of indigenes and others, philanthropists alike, we will be able to achieve our aim, God willing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Director. Sir, during the course of your remark, you said the project in 2 segments. One belongs to the state government fund. Are you saying that because we are from tax base, where do you think the state government got the fund?
The funds is gotten from the taxpayers of the state, that is the indigenes of the states. That is where the funds are gotten, and they have been put into judicious use. As we can see, there are projects ongoing, and nobody from the state will say he is paying money and he doesn't see where his money is going. The money is being used judiciously, and we can see from the projects we inspected so far.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
The structures have been projected to be completed before the middle of the next academic session, as everything needed for their speedy execution has been made readily available by the Kogi State Government.
You cannot wait for government to entirely handle university education these days. So while we were, first of all, discussing the issue of the commencement of work on the first phase of the academic facilities, we noticed that is going to attract more students than, of course, we would think would be the case. And waiting for government to put in place the necessary hostel accommodation may mean that we'll have to wait for a long time. So we started discussing with individuals. When I mean individuals, companies anyway, with a view to securing a PPP arrangement. That's a public-private partnership arrangement. Indeed, we have received a number of proposals from TENS Concept. TENS Concept is a company that is very much into estate development, property development. And we just want to finish our discussions with them, and then we take necessary approval from the state government and we go into action. We are really very confident that before we get to the middle of next academic session, we would have been very sure of how much addition we're going to make to the students' accommodation. But that doesn't stop us from still appealing to government to come to our aid. In fact, last week, House Committee on Education visited us. They also were very excited when they saw the amount of progress being made in the development of our facilities. And we told them that, look, our major concern now is how to get the students, at least majority of the students, accommodated within the campus. You know, these days that we have security challenges, we are lucky that we are experiencing minimal, we haven't even experienced that here now, minimal challenges in the state entirely. But then you can only be sure of giving students the necessary security when they are close to you. When they are strewn all over the neighboring communities, you cannot be sure of really guaranteeing their security. So we are also talking to government. In fact, when last His Excellency visited us, this was last week, it was one of the problems that I tabled before him, and he gave us the guarantee that government will go into it very soon. But then, like I said, we are not going to leave government alone. We have gone into discussions with respect to PPP.
Being a practice-based institution, the university is strategically placed within so many industrial hubs that are adequate enough to accommodate the students during their industrial training to be well-honed in the skills they acquire within the school.
There is hardly any individual or institution that is totally free from challenges. Although that challenge is also being addressed seriously, the challenge of internal roads, because you could see how fast we are moving when it comes to buildings. But then the buildings will have to be, for us to be able to operate those structures very well, they have to be connected, interconnected, and also connected to the outside world. Happily, I want to announce that the state government has awarded the contract for internal roads. The contract goes to CCECC, a Chinese firm. Indeed, we are expecting them today to mobilize on site. They would have done that a little earlier. The challenge they faced in crossing Kotokarifi during that flood actually created that delay. So we have that. We also have the problem of staff accommodation too. Most of our staff are beginners. Most of them are not very senior people in the system. Assistant lecturers, we have lecturers too. Not that we don't have professors, but then they are very few compared with the majority of the academic staff we have. In the non-teaching sector too, we have assistant, as the administrative assistant registrar, not really higher than senior assistant registrar that we have now. Some of them are also finding it difficult to come to work. They would have preferred accommodation that is close to the university. So we also talked about the staff accommodation. All these are already captured in our master plan. They are captured in our master plan. The only thing is that, because of resources, you normally arrange your want in order of priority. So that's what we are doing now. There are two other challenges that I would say that because of the passion of the state government, the government is also handling. Right now, our supply from the national grid will be far, far insufficient to operate the campus when we commissioned those structures. I tabled this again when His Excellency was here. I reminded him, it's not that wasn't the first time we tabled the matter. And he, of course, agreed that it should be attended to as a matter of priority. What the state government has settled down for is a dedicated line from a suitable point in Okene local government area to straight to the campus without servicing any other facility along the line. That's one. And then, of course, we have the issue of water supply. But for now, we are a bit comfortable. For now, we're a bit comfortable because we have a number of boreholes here that we have connected, and then we have a good network of water supply satisfying our present needs. We are going to rely on supply from Osara Dam when the campus achieves its fullest level.
As of today, the school sits as a gold mine with full potentials of economic growth that are going to come by the academic advancements of the school, given the plethora of ideas, staff density and structure, school equipment, practical approaches, and equally sufficient practices, structures, and the administrative excellence that abound in the university. This poses an opportunity for investors within and outside Kogi State to identify with the current tides happening in the university as production rules the world of commerce, and which in no time the school will rank as one of the major exports of technological and scientific inventions. Also, in a state that is densely endowed with natural resources, there is no measure to what can be produced and invented by the brilliant minds that are being churned in the school.
The vision of the university itself is to make sure that it is an internationally renowned institution in training high level and developing high level manpower that will be practice oriented, not just theory, practice oriented, and that will be given to cutting edge research output. That is where my vision also derives from. We are starting now. It will soon be a common knowledge that our engineering program is slightly different from the program run by other institutions, because we are emphasizing hands-on experience rather than just theory. Because of that, we have approached quite a number of industrial concerns within the state. Remember that the university is lucky that it is surrounded by a good number of industrial production outfits here. We have Dangote there. We have already discussed with the management, and we have secured their understanding that our students, quite a number of our students, will be coming there, particularly from the engineering programs, civil, mechanical, electrical, mining, and so on. They have given us their words that they will be there for us. We are not stopping there. We have approached other companies too, like the alcohol near the Jamata Bridge. Yes, so we have this understanding that, and there's also PMAD in Okene. We have all these there for us. These facilities define the potentials that we can tap in making sure that our engineering students have a different route, while still satisfying the minimum academic requirement of NUC. In fact, whereas other universities are operating a 6-month industrial attachment in the 5-year program of the engineering, ours will be 2 times that, 1 whole year industrial exposure. We want them to, at the time they graduate, be very familiar with the industrial norms, practices, and traditions. So, with this, my vision, is to ensure that, because if you look at the North Central State, the North Central State is blessed with mineral resources. Perhaps they have more solid mineral resources than any other thing. We want to make sure that ours will be tapped with the input, the technical, professional inputs from our own citizens. And that is the vision that this university has.
Yeah, Salah Sadiku, we want to thank you so much for this wonderful response. We want to thank you. We pray all your thinking, your reasoning towards this university, may God Almighty help you to achieve it.
Amen.
Alongside with your management. I want to thank you so much. We have had enough.
Thank you. I also thank you for finding time to come and engage me in this manner this morning. May God bless you. Thank you.